keep bleeding, keep bleeding. That's not it?
Not Leona Lewis. Hi, my name is Paulina Paris, and this is Protect Our Queens.
All right, so you know, we gotta protect our queen. This one right here, Miss Paulina Paris, my lord. Hey, P, I must be doing something right if I get time to spend with you on a Wednesday night. This is unbelievable. I'm so happy right now. This is one of my favorite players, Fish. It's like you just want to see them play. You know, it's like you get a good feeling when you get to sit there and like watch them hoop. So like, what and who has inspired your game the most?
My dad, he ever since I was around like 7, he brought me to the gym with him all the time, took over every team that I was part of, and taught me how to play basketball. So it's mostly just him.
And your dad hooped, I'm assuming?
Yeah, he played in Puerto Rico. I used to live there when I was like 2 to 3, and he would go to the gym. That was his job, and then my mom would watch us. And then once I turned about 3, we moved here, and then I've been here since.
Did he introduce you to like anyone's like game film, anyone like that played in particular?
We loved watching Kobe. That's our favorite player. I just loved watching him play. He would always take the last shot. He would always call his teammates out when they weren't doing the right thing. And he was just an all-around leader. I love watching him.
You are one of those rare players that sees things ahead of time. You see plays ahead of time. Can you like describe what that's been like for you and how you feel like you've developed that skill?
If I like see that a player, like if I'm bringing the ball up and I see that a player is overplaying my player, I'll tell them the play before to go back door. Or if I see that they're going to trap me and I see that like I know how to like tell by the plays before what I should do the next play. And I think that that's probably the best part of my game, because then the coach has trusted me to do what I have to do. And then all around it just works all together. Because I do see things before they happen. And I feel like besides shooting and scoring, that is my best part of my game. And I don't know, like I just like see it most of the time.
Do you feel like that's a burden sometimes that you can see it?
No, not really. I mean,
Okay.
sometimes like today in practice, like I threw a behind the back pass to a cutting player, and she didn't cut it the same time that I did, so it was my turnover in the end.
Is there anything you do like before games to get locked in, or is there anything special you do like in the warm-ups or whatever it may be to really get yourself locked in for a game?
I actually have a lot of pregame rituals.
Okay.
Now that there are no fans, I can't do this one, but my dad always brings me a yellow Gatorade
Mhm.
before, gives me a hug, hands it to me, and I usually put it under the chairs that we sit on for the game. And then usually I'll tap my right shoe twice and my left shoe 3 times, and then I'll just go like that. And then that's usually how I start the game before the tip. And then I write 23 on both of my shoes.
I don't know if you watched any of the other Protect Our Queens that we had, but we had Kylie come on here and say she listens to R&B before games. Do you listen to R&B before games, or do you listen to something that actually gets you hyped?
What are you listening
My
to?
favorite pregame song is like "Jump Out the Face" by Meek Mill, but like
Okay.
mostly like Drake and Meek Mill, like slowed down songs from like a little Leona Lewis, you know.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's how you come and I knew you were different. Leona Lewis. Do you, Fish, you know about Leona Lewis?
Yeah, my whole life.
Of course.
Leading Love? Lord, don't get me started.
I love that song.
I know you moved up here when you said you were 3. Do you live in New York or do you live in New Jersey?
I live in New York, but both teams I play for are in Jersey.
Out of the competition that you've had in New York and New Jersey, like you have to decide which state is better.
When I was younger, like when I played for the Gauchos, I definitely thought it was the city. But now that I played high school in New York and I've seen the atmosphere from practice and from one game from Jersey, I'd have to say Jersey. I just feel like high school Jersey is more competitive than New York is in the high school aspect. That's why I kind of moved over to Jersey.
Pete, tell me about your final 8 schools that you named recently. How did you narrow them down, and how are you going to narrow them down to even fewer than that?
On around December 23rd, me and my father, we were on the phone, and I asked him, I was like, can we please cut it down to 8? Because I wanted to make an announcement about it, because I wanted to cut down most of the calls I was getting from schools that I knew I wasn't going to go to. To like getting it down from that, I'm not going to make a decision until I could finally visit and finally like get to know the coaches better, because I feel like Zoom isn't really doing it, and it's better to be there than to just take it off of a phone call.
Take us into your process a little bit. Is there anything specific that you're looking for on these visits or anything, or you're just going to see like what presents itself and then you'll start deciding after like the first one?
I'm looking for like a family program, and I obviously want to start right away. I'm not going to go to school where I sit at the bench and watch somebody else play minutes over me when I worked. It's hard to be on the court, and that's really it.
We got to ask you, we would like your top 5 queens. This can be family members, players, coaches, and we just need your ranking of the top 5 queens that are giving you the queen energy that you need right now.
My mom, my grandmother, my sisters Vanessa and Kayla, and my little baby dog Coco.
That's our first dog queen, Fish, I think.
That was also the quickest top 5 queens we've ever had.
By far. Did you prepare for that, or you just knew?
Yeah, it just came right out.
My lord. Are your sisters older, P?
Yeah, one is 21 and one is 18.
Do any of your other siblings also play or no?
Brian does, but that's it.
And he's definitely not messing with you. What about your pops? What's the energy with pops?
I can't guard him. I've been losing like 11-0, maybe like 11-1, but
Oh yeah, nah, he's not playing with you. Is he still like active? Does he still, just work out a little bit here and there, or?
never. 2 bad knees and I still can't do it. He's different.
I know you said Kobe was a guy that you watch. Like who are you watching now, or who are your favorites now for NBA and WNBA?
NBA is Steph Curry and Kevin Durant, and then WNBA is Diana Taurasi.
Killers only. Do you feel like you have a new appreciation or like a new energy in terms of like just getting to play again? I know it's just like a great feeling, but what does that feel like to be able to hoop again?
It's the best feeling. I mean, having high school cut off last year sucked, and then AAU couldn't go to nationals, couldn't do anything, couldn't go to the Poconos. We couldn't do anything, and it was just like such a cut season. But I was grateful to have at least a few games during the summer. And then having our high school season now getting pushed back this far, it was so upsetting. But then finally being able to come up with an agreement with the state to be able to let us play, it's the best thing ever. Like being in the locker room with my teammates, knowing that we had a game in 20 minutes yesterday, it was the best feeling ever.
So Tim Lang is our guy, and I know I've seen plenty of him taking photos of you, videos of you, and everything. What was your first thoughts when you saw him walk into the gym all lanky and nerdy looking with his camera?
The first time I met him, he walked into the gym with like sandals, his St. Rose shirt, and like a cap. And I was expecting like a 30-year-old man, but then no, it was like I didn't even know he was in my grade. It was crazy, but he's a really nice kid, and I'm glad to have met him.
The first time I met him when he came with us to a tournament, an AAU tournament, I think he came in with sandals and everything too.
The most recent time I saw him, bro, he was like 6'7". Like, dog, why is he so tall? I'm not literally, I'm exaggerating, but no, for real. But he's like as tall as me now. I'm like, bro, what is going on? But I'll cook him. I'll cook him.
I love being in Jersey now.
I'm glad. We love having you in Jersey. I'll say that. I'll say it myself. We love having you, girl. I appreciate you taking the time, P, for real. This was one of the things we needed for this segment to be what it is, So I appreciate you coming through, for real.
Thank you for having me.
Always good. Keep bleeding. Keep bleeding. That's not it?
That is not Leona Lewis.
You can't even pretend to rock with me, girl. That's
It was great. It was a good try.